there, how have you been? Long time no see you, huh? Well, I'm back here with the Go Math lesson 9.3, equivalent fractions and decimals. Okay, let's start into the topic. If we have the decimal 0.2, or as we called it, 2/10, how can we write an equivalent decimal? Well, I'm going to help you. If you place the number inside the place value chart, we can see that we have 0 in the ones, we have 2 in the tens, and we have nothing in the hundreds, right? So could I maybe write the number 0.2 as 0.20? Is 2/10 equivalent with 20 hundredths? Let's see. Well, if we compare the numbers, right, we have 0 ones, we have 2/10, and then hundreds. This one has a 0, but this one doesn't have anything. And if you don't have anything, that means you have 0, right? So if I were to fill it up with a 0 here, I will have exactly the same number. That's why we say that 2/10 is equivalent with 20 hundredths. Let's see it in fractions. If we write 2/10 as a fraction, we have 2/10. And if we write 20 hundredths as a fraction, we'll write 20/100. Now, let's think. Are those two fractions equivalent? Well, let's think. Is there a way that you can turn a 10 into 100? Oh yes, multiplying it times 10. And if we multiply in the denominator, we have to do the same thing in the numerator. So we're going to multiply times 10 in the numerator. And 2 times 10 is 20. So yes, they are equivalent. So remember, 2/10 is equivalent with 20 hundredths. Let's do another exercise. How about we have 80 hundredths? If we have 80 hundredths and we place it in the place value chart, 80 hundredths. Can we write a decimal that is equivalent to this one? Let's see. We have 0 ones, right? There's nothing I can write. I have 8 tens and I have 0 hundredths. So could I just not put anything? Could 80 hundredths be equivalent to 8 tens? Yes, they are equivalent because I have 8 tens, no hundreds, and no ones. They name exactly the same amount. Just like I would do 80 over 100, that would be equivalent to what over 10? Well, if I divide by 10 in the denominator, I divide by 10 in the numerator, and 80 divided by 10 will be 8. Yes, they are equivalent. So remember, we can kind of add and subtract zeros at the end and still have the same decimal. Let's do one more with a whole number now. What do? We have 2.4, or 2 and 2/10. My equivalent decimal will be, well, let's see, 2 ones, 4 tenths, and 0 hundredths. And just so you can, we can keep adding as many zeros as you want, still going to be naming the same amount. Okay, let's just leave it in 40 hundredths. Fractions will be 2 wholes and 4 tenths. That'll be equivalent with what? We have 2 ones, and then we have 40 hundredths. The whole number doesn't change. Make sure you remember that. Then the decimal portion is the one that changed. In the top one, we have 4 tenths here, and the second one, we have 40 hundredths like here. Now, you have to be careful because just adding and taking zeros doesn't always work. And I have an example for this. How about I have 9 hundredths? Let's place it in the place value chart. Can I just take a 0 and make an equivalent decimal? No. 9 hundredths is not equivalent to 9 tenths. Look at this. We have the same numerator and we have different denominators. So we cannot have an equivalent fraction if one of the numbers is the same but the other one is different. So be careful. You have to name the same amount. You have to have the same values. And here we have 9 tenths. And here this one has 0 tenths. And the hundreds, you have 9 hundredths in here and 0 hundredths in here. It means you cannot make it equivalent. Okay, hopefully you understand. If anything, you can rewind the video, and I want for tomorrow, find equivalent fractions and decimals for these two numbers. So you have 2 decimals, right? 2 fractions that I will need for each. And by the way, there was a word that was flying out of the screen very fast. If you bring me the word with the definition for tomorrow, I'll give you, we can see how many points we can give you. So bring it tomorrow. Don't forget. Until next time, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.